Today we will be covering lesson 10-2 on congruence. This section will be divided into 4 separate pieces. The first section will cover question number 1, questions number 2 to 7, questions number 8 to 10, and lastly we'll cover questions 13 to 16. Let's go ahead and take a look at our introduction. Consider the 5 labeled triangles shown here. Isosceles triangles A, B, C, and D are congruent because a series of rigid motions, either translations, rotations, or reflections, can be mapped onto the triangles onto one another. The series can involve a rotation of 90 degrees or 180 degrees, followed by a translation. However, no such combination can map either of the 4 triangles onto the equilateral triangle E, nor does the inverse combination exist that would map triangle E onto A, B, C, or D. Therefore, triangle E is not congruent to the other triangles. 2 figures are said to be congruent if and only if a composition of rigid motions maps one to the other. The definition of congruent figures applies both on and off the coordinate plane. It also agrees with intuitive understanding of the concept of congruency. For example, if you trace a figure, then rotate or reflect the tracing, and the tracing will fit exactly over any other congruent figures and will not fit over non-congruent figures. Shade all of the figures that appear to be congruent in figure A. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. I want you to shade all the figures you think are congruent to this particular arrow. Go ahead and pause your video now. As you can see, the answer to question number 1 has been provided. What led you to shade those particular arrows and not shade others? Let's have a discussion about that. On to your debriefing.